remix. Hey guys, let's get right into it. Tay and JPJ. Tay, red flag, sis, get out. So Tay and JPJ are sitting here talking about their relationship moving forward outside of paradise. And JPJ says to her, I wasn't even really listening to this. I was actually on Facebook stalking my ex. It is what it is. And then I heard JPJ go, you don't really need nice things to be happy. What? It's always a man saying this. It is always a man saying something stupid. I don't want to be in a relationship with you and just have you thinking that as long as you have like material things or like nice possessions, that's going to make you happy. I want you to know that you don't need those things to be happy. We know this, man. We're not dumb like you. I hate when dudes say this. I remember I went out on a date with a dude. Guys, we were, how old was I? 24. Because I knew I had to be young because I still continued to date him after he said this. We went out on a date. He chose the freaking restaurant. He chose the restaurant and got 2 glasses of wine. The bill came up to like $100 and a little bit of tax. This fool goes, oh my goodness, I just know being in a relationship with you is going to be expensive. You're high maintenance. I suggested TGI Fridays. You wanted to go to this restaurant because you like the wine. Excuse me? And me and my 24-year-old dumb naive self still sat there and was thinking about, oh, maybe I should have just got water. Child, not today. Not today. So it really pisses me off when guys say stuff like this because it's always men who have no idea how expensive it is to be a woman. They have no idea how much eyelashes cost. They don't know what a bad weave will do for your confidence. They don't know how a nice Gucci boot feels. They don't know. They don't know the feeling that we get when we put on a nice bodycon Fendi dress and walk into Bloomingdale's like we own that place. Men don't know this. They don't know the feeling. They don't have anything that makes them feel any type of way. The only piece of clothing that they have that makes them feel like something is a freaking baseball cap. Baseball cap can make an ugly dude hot in seconds. That's the only thing that they know about that they got. And that is like $6 to $7. So they don't know how expensive it is to be us and how those expensive things make us feel. You don't need that stuff to be happy, but it's nice to have it. And just because I'm with you does not mean that I'm sacrificing that. Ladies, don't you do it. Don't you do it. The second a dude calls you high maintenance, the second a dude says, oh my goodness, I just don't want you to think that you need a roof over your head to be happy. You think I'm gonna be in a van with you? Get out of here. Hell no. These men they don't know how a woman feels when we got a nice home or condo with 2.5 bathrooms. They don't get it. They don't get it. They can't comprehend and they choose not to comprehend because they don't want to foot that bill. Well, baby, if you a man and you want a woman, you footing the bill. You footing the bill. Ladies, we are asking for everything that we want. And if they don't want to give it, you move on. We are done settling. 2019 is the last year that you watching this, you beautiful woman who was watching this, 2019 is the last year. You know what? Not even 2019. What is today's date? September 13th or 14th or 15th, whatever day this is the last day that you have settled. No more. No more. You are not settling. No, sis. Done. And if I hear or see or think that y'all are settling, I'm going to come find you. And I'm going to yank you out of that date or marriage. Talk about the dumbest thing that happened in this episode. Connor, who was feeling Whitney, I believe that's her name, Whitney that he met at Crystal and Goose's wedding reception, who he was talking to before Kaylin pulled him away. Anyway, they made a really great connection and he was hoping that she would come down the steps in paradise. And he's sitting in his confessionals the whole time talking about that and about how he just wants to see her and he hopes that she comes down the steps. It doesn't happen, right? He packs up his bags and leaves. While he's in his van, he passes Whitney, who's on her way into paradise. She comes into paradise saying that Connor is the guy for her and she really wants to see and take him out on the date. Everybody's like, oh, he just left 25 minutes ago. So she decides to leave paradise and go and get Connor. I was like, y'all just wasted everybody's time. Like nobody on production. I'm not saying that they had to tell him, But y'all could have stalled. Y'all could have told Connor, oh, the van isn't here. It'll be leaving soon. And then have him maybe with his bags packed and then he looks over and sees her. Like, that would have been something nice. Because I just felt like, why would you waste her time and his time? And then I felt bad for her because, can we be quite honest with you? If you're coming on this show, you want to be on TV. Yes, they say they're here to find love, but you want to be on TV. And I just feel like they cut Whitney's opportunities short, and that wasn't fair. Because she deserves to get more Instagram followers as well. That's why a majority of these people are on this show. They're trying to become reality TV stars and Instagram stars because it pays well. It pays better than them jobs that they were working before. So I don't think that was fair. I didn't like that, and I also did not like the fact how they just wasted Connor's time. The whole time he's sitting in his confessional talking about how he wants to see this girl, and y'all let him pack up and leave. Like, I don't know. However, I will say this. When Whitney got to Connor's like hotel suite, I was like, you know what, Connor? I wouldn't go back either. Like, that hotel suite, that kitchen was nice, the air-conditioned room. You know, the food there was probably better. Connor had his own bathroom. I think if they did ask him to come back, he would probably say no. And then it would make sense for him to come back anyway, because the next step in paradise is fantasy suites. And I don't think that, you know what, maybe Whitney would have been down. I'm not sure how that would have went. I just felt like it wasn't fair to Connor. It was a waste of his time. And it was also a waste of time for Whitney. I especially feel bad for her because she deserves camera time as well. Her money is cut short because she wasn't in a lot of scenes. She didn't have a lot of camera time. If she at least would have stayed for the day, her and Connor, there would have at least been a couple more scenes of her being in it. And she probably would have left Paradise with, you know, a bit more exposure and a nice check, depending on how much camera time that she has received. So I just didn't think that was fair. But I love the fact that she went after him and they reunited in his hotel room. So I'm glad that Connor at least is leaving Mexico with some kind of love connection, because he deserves. Because what Kaylin did to him was not fair. Clay is basura. He is. I'm so done with him. I'm so done with him. I don't even like Nicole because she's a hater. Nicole is a hater. I have not liked how she has, you know, treated Angela during this entire process. But she still does not deserve this from Clay. That dude is going to break your heart, girl. That dude is going to break your heart. So they're out on their little dinner date. And Nicole is just like, you know, I'm falling for you. Basically telling the dude that she's in love with him and falling in love with him. And he's just like, yo, yeah, you know, I feel like I'm getting there, but I'm just not there yet. I just, you know, I don't know if I can get there right now. But I do know that, you know, I love having breakfast with you. I love, you know, seeing you in the daytime. The bar is in hell. The bar is in hell. Nicole's okay with that. She told this dude that she's falling in love with him. Why wouldn't she? Why? The way he has been acting towards her, how could you not fall in love with him? And then for him to be like, I just don't know yet. I'm not right there. Girl, he is going to Angela you. It is going to be 8 to 9 months later. And then he's going to tell you, I don't think that this is something that I can do. I'm telling you. Now, you know what? I ain't even going to tell you what to do because I was going to say get pregnant. But he ain't got no money, so back out of there. I think that Angela is renting space in Clay's mind. Because maybe if Angela wasn't there, he would probably say that he's getting there with her too, or that he's falling in love with her too. But now that Angela is in paradise and renting space in his head, he probably can't, you know, honestly say that he's falling in love with her when he probably still has really strong feelings for Angela. I cannot wait for this reunion. It's going to be so messy and so delicious because you know we love messy. So let's talk about the rose ceremony. Luke. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. The way the ladies did Luke at this rose ceremony, oh my goodness, it ain't right. It ain't right. So Luke is called first. He says, Bree. Bree walks down. Luke says to her, will you accept this rose? Bree was like, Bree, who, guys, can we be real? Homegirl really came here for a connection. Bree did not come here for some Instagram followers. She really wanted this. So Bree says to him, I cannot accept this rose from you because I know what this rose means. And I just know that I'm not there with you. And turns around and walks back up, waiting to get picked by another dude. Girl, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, Luke. Oh, brother, I'm so sorry. I couldn't, I actually had to pause my TV, walk away, go in my bathroom, and look at myself and scream. I felt so bad for that dude. I felt so bad. And then Luke stayed up there. He stayed up there. So Luke is up there holding the rose, right? He's like, and then Chris Harrison comes in. Oh God, it was so awkward. First of all, it was so quiet. You could hear Chris's footsteps. So he walks up there and he's just like, does anybody want Luke's rose? Anybody? Anybody, any woman, man, production member, does anybody want this man's rose? Nothing. Even women who are in danger of going home, none of them accepted his rose. They basically said, I'd rather be cut from this show than to take your rose. Luke, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And also, can we talk about how trash Haley is? Because in her confessional, she's just like, I know Nick Val, and I know Nick Val's brother. Luke looks nothing like him. Nick is very attractive. You ain't have to say that. That was so rude and mean of her to say. Like, she basically called the man ugly. And I'm like, sweetie, how dare you when you're built like a bag of rice? How dare you call somebody ugly? That wasn't cool, Haley. And I didn't check Twitter. I hope she apologized to him because that was just mean. So after the rose ceremony, the very next day, Chris Harrison comes in and he's just like, paradise is basically over. You know what I mean? So if you're not coupled up at this point, you better do something because the next step is fantasy suite. So all of the couples in paradise who are not strong, basically the couples who are not ready to go to a fantasy suite, start disintegrating. Like they're all starting to fall apart. They're like dropping like flies all over paradise. The first couple to fall apart is Matt and Bree. So Matt sits down and have a conversation with her and he talks about the fantasy suite. And first of all, I'm like, Matt, how are you going to do the fantasy suite? You can't even kiss a woman on national TV. What the hell you and Bree going to do in there? Hold hands and watch Netflix? But you know what, Bree? This might be the safest fantasy suite ever on Bachelor in Paradise. Or Bachelor Nation, the Bachelorette. This most certainly will be the safest, most Christian, most PG-13 fantasy suite of all time. But anyway, Bree decides not to even take it because she's just like, I want somebody who wants me for me. And I just don't think you want me for the right reasons. Basically is what she said. I really do respect her for that. And I actually saw Bree in a different light on this show. I wish that I would have gotten more of her because all we got from her from Colton season was the girl who had the Australian accent who was faking it, right? What I was essentially saying to Matt is that Matt just likes her for the idea of her being a supermodel. Is she even, do they just call her that? Because I'm just like, I've never seen her on the covers of Vogue. Anyway, she lets him know that in all honesty, I would much rather go home than go to a fantasy suite with you. And she says it for a very good reason because Matt was calling her a supermodel the whole time. Even before he sat down to meet with her, he says in his confessional, it would be really nice to leave paradise with a supermodel girlfriend. He never even said her name. And Bree knew that. She knew that that was the only reason why he was interested in her because of the idea of her. And she wanted somebody who really wanted her for her. But Bree, don't you fret. Because, baby, I know you checked your DMs already in that van. And I know you know that Blake is calling. She probably gonna go and get with Blake. I bet you that girl is getting the hammer right now as we speak. Girl, tell us all about it at the reunion. Now Matt, who cut Sydney, is all of a sudden thinking about Sydney and it's just like, oh, Sydney would accept the fantasy suite. Don't do that to Sydney. Sydney deserves better than you. You are not ready. You are not ready. A good guy, I love his story. I would love him for The Bachelor, but he just has to be, he got to go on a couple more dates. You know what I mean? To like really get there. Because could you imagine Matt as The Bachelor? We will love his intro story. We will be all into this dude. Then we will get to his scenes where he has to actually like kiss the women, interact with them. His voice would be cracking the whole time. He would be sweating the whole time and just awkward. No, you're not ready, bro, but you are on my list for bachelors. I still want JPJ as the Bachelor. JPJ at 37, though, not JPJ at 24. I'll even take JPJ at 35. 35. JPJ at 35. Matt at 33. Those are my only Bachelor picks. Mike, if we get real Mike and not big Mike with the smile. Yeah, I don't want that Mike. I want who you really are. Give us church boy Mike. Church boys are hot. To some women. Let me stop playing. I end up marrying the pastor. Please, God, no. I'm sorry, I was joking. Angela and Chase part ways as well. Thank you, Jesus. I was so glad that she got away from him, especially when you guys were giving me all that intel on him. And I was just like, I knew what I picked up about him was right. You guys confirmed it. So I'm so glad that she got away from him. He was basically saying that he just can't get there with her. And there's something about, you know, her that's like keeping him from like really, really getting there. And I gotta be honest with you. I think that the thing that is keeping Chase from getting there with Angela is the fact that she dates and has sex with black men. I can see it on him. I can see it on him. He don't like that. He don't like that. Probably because he can't compete. You always hate when you can't compete. And then we get to... And then we get to Tay Tay and JPJ. Guys, without the music, I could have taken this entire scene seriously. With the music, it was just giving me telenovela. It was so cheesy, and I was like, why would they put this music behind this breakup? So JPJ definitely wants to do the fantasy suite with Tay Tay, telling her that he loves her. And Tay Tay is just like, I'm not there. I can't get there with you. And I'm telling you guys, it's because JPJ is a great guy. He's just very immature in way too many ways for a woman who was looking for a husband. That's what it is. Like, she loves the way that he loves her, but there's so much more to being a husband, not just loving. It's a great thing to have. I need you to be in love with me. I need you to be infatuated with me. I need to be your dream girl. But I also need a lot more. I need a protector. I need a provider. I need a dude that will be a husband and not an extra child. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more that he has to do to get to where he needs to be to marry Tay Tay today. He took it like a champ, though. He really, really did. Like, I thought he would fall apart, you know, break a day bed, but he really did take it like a champ. And as he walks away, the violins start playing. Tay Tay sees him and runs after him, and she's like, JPJ! And he picks her up. And he walks her over to like the gravel, and then he says, take care, Tayshia, and walks away. And the violins were getting louder and louder. And I was just like, background music made this thing look so cheesy. But Tay Tay was really heartbroken because she felt bad because he's a good guy. None of us like to break up with the good guy. None of us like to break up with the good guy, but it's just something about that bad boy. Something about the wrong dude. It's always the hammer. It's always the hammer with the wrong guy. Always. Then we get to Demi and Christian, they're shaky, guys. This is a really shaky couple. Let me know in the comment section below if they're still together. You know what? Don't do that because a lot of people don't like spoilers. So never mind. Instagram me or tweet me. Yeah, don't let me know in the comment section because a lot of people don't like the show to be spoiled for them. I am one of those people. But I just need to know if Demi and Christian are still together because this couple looks very shaky and I really don't see it for them. Here is why. Christian is out. She is out and proud. And she has been out for about 5 years or so, right? Demi is still dealing with the anxiety and the fear and the shame of being part of the LGBTQ community. You know what I mean? Especially in the United States of America, especially where she's from. So she's dealing with all of that. She's dealing with everybody's going to see this in my small little town. And she probably lives in LA, but you know, where you're from matters. You know what I mean? Because where you're from houses your family. You're going to have to go there. So she's very scared and afraid. Also, because, and this is why a lot of people say closeted, they see how people who are out are treated. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to get murdered. Nobody wants to get discriminated against. Nobody wants to be taunted while they're walking down, you know, the street holding their partner's hand. Like, you don't want that. So I totally understand that. And I get that these two have love. I get that there is a relationship here that is worth saving. Unfortunately, I don't think that they can last throughout this because Christian is getting stressed out by Demi having all of like her emotional meltdowns about their relationship. And Christian's just not there. She always tells her, I understand because I've been through it. But then in her confessional, she's just like, but I've been out for 5 years. So I'm just not there anymore. They're unequally yoked. One of my very best friends went through this. He was dating someone who was in the closet when they dated. The person came out. He supported them through that. Like everybody, the whole community was very supportive. But, you know, that person had, you know, issues with their family and, you know, being out at work was really scary. Being out in public was really scary. So a lot of their dates were in their home. And it was just a lot for him. It was a huge task for my friend to take on because my friend kept on saying, I love this person. I really, really do. I really, really love him. but I've been out for a very long time. And I feel like being in this relationship, he's pulling me back into the closet. So he's dealing with a lot of emotions and just triggers that he has healed from. But being with this partner, you're walking through that fire again. And he is just realizing that although I love him, I don't want to feel that anymore. I'm free of that. I don't want to go back there and walk through that with him, especially in a new relationship. Don't know where it's going to go. Christian, I believe, will probably find each other later in life. Just like I think my friend will do with his ex. I think they'll probably find each other later in life when they're on the same page. Right now, I just don't think that they're on the same page. And honestly, it's unfair to Christian to, have to walk through this fire with someone that they love. But walking through this fire could damage them in ways that they've already healed from. So it's just very risky. And I just don't see them lasting. But maybe when Demi is in a better place, they'll be able to find each other again. Hopefully. Let's talk about Katie and the poor man's Gerard Butler. I hope they make it. I don't know if they will. Because, and I'm being really serious here, I think he's dealing with depression. It just looks like that to me. He's done such a 180. He was really like on a high with her and, really wanted her to fight for him. Then he finally gets her and he's not interested in her, right? He's just really sad. He's really, really sad. And I don't know what has triggered him to make him feel this way. But I'm thinking it's depression, guys, because honestly, it looks familiar. It looks familiar for him to like switch like that and Katie not know what's going on and him not being able to really articulate that. I'm like, Katie, I think your man is depressed. Because guys, depression will creep up on you out of nowhere. You could be at Disney World having the best of times and then bam, right before you get on a Dumbo ride, depression will sit on you and you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do, but eventually, if you're lucky enough, it lifts and you're able to get out of that. But when it hits, it's unexpected and you don't know how to deal with it. And I think what triggered it is the fact that him and Katie have to take the next step. And I don't think that it's not that he doesn't want to take the next step with her. I'm feeling like he doesn't think that she will still want him outside of this process. And he doesn't want to get hurt by her because he's experienced some pain. Because he even said it, it's really hard for me to open up like this. And I think that he was probably in a relationship that really took him through the ringer and probably put him in this depression. And now that he's dealing with something really real and opening up and feeling these feelings again, he's scared and fear and depression is just sitting on this dude. Oh, listen, Katie, if you love him, stick it out with him, right? But dealing with a partner who has depression, you have to walk through some fires, girl. You are going to be in the furnace and that heat is going to get hot. You might get burned. But if you're walking with the Lord, you won't. Just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they came out smelling like smoke, but they were not burnt. I'm a church kid. It is what it is. But seriously, sis, that's going to be a very hard relationship to handle if that is the issue that we're dealing with Chris. Because I can't even call him the poor man's Gerard Butler at this point. Yeah, I hope that's not the case. It looks like it may be, but if it is, Katie, stick with it as long as you can. If you can walk through this fire with him, girl, walk through it. If you think he is worth it, walk through it. But if you feel like you're starting to get burnt up, get out. Get out. And Chris, open your heart, trust the process, get some therapy. And beloved, I'm not hating, I'm speaking from experience. That's it for me. I enjoyed these last 2 episodes. I am sad that Paradise is wrapping up because that means for me that I probably won't, get to talk to you guys until maybe a Bachelor and Winter Games happens and then the Bachelor. But I'm gonna miss you guys. But we still got more time. We still got the reunion. So please check me out for the reunion next week. And if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And share and share and share. Like as well, because YouTube likes when you like me. So do all of those things for your girl, and I will see you next week. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. Love you much. Bye.